Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Courtney and I am a real estate agent in the state of Connecticut. If you're into all things real estate, then be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on that bell notification so you don't miss any new videos from me. Today I'm doing something a little bit different. I got a few questions and recommendations to do a video about how I budget for taxes and just taxes in general. And by no means am I an expert in this field. I work with an accountant. I have someone helping me do this, and I'm just sharing my experience in what works for me. And I think my biggest tip for all new agents is to make an appointment with an accountant, have someone on your side so that you start off on a good foot, because this can get tricky if you don't start from the beginning. So if you guys don't know, if you have a normal 9-to-5 job, you're getting a paycheck either weekly, bi-weekly, whatever the case may be. You get your check and your federal and state taxes are taken out of your paycheck automatically. But when you are a real estate agent, you have to do that yourself. So most likely you're going to be doing quarterly payments. They're kind of like estimated payments to whatever state you belong to in the IRS. So basically you kind of have to do it yourself and budget yourself. So that could be tricky, but I think that you have to have the right mindset going into it, because once you get this nice hefty paycheck from your first, like house sale, it's not all your money, and you have to have that mindset. That's not all yours. It's not all for you. You have to take out the money and put it somewhere else. So my first tip is to make a separate savings account or something that is just for taxes. So basically, you just open a new account, you get your paycheck, and you take out the amount you're going to save for taxes. Now, what I do and what my accountant suggests I do is put 30% of each of my commission checks away for my tax budgeting, basically. So that's something that I would advise everyone to do. Obviously, people have different ways of making things work, but I find that if I just look at it from the start as, hey, this is not all my money, and I put it somewhere where I can't touch it, it makes it a lot easier down the line, because the last thing you want to do is go and do your taxes and then you owe all this money and you didn't save for any of it and it feels like you made nothing. That's the worst feeling. So that's my advice there. So I do about 30%, but it's going to vary per state, per person, your filing status, all those things. So that's why I definitely would get advice from an accountant or someone you trust that, has experience in doing taxes. So when you're self-employed, there are ways you could have some tax savings. You could do, tax deductions. And if you have a lot of expenses that are going towards your business, then you definitely want to take advantage of that. So basically what I will do is, if I spend any money in any way and that's going towards my business or it's for my business, then I'm going to save the receipts, because those are going to help you save and basically owe less for taxes with those deductions. They're write-offs, basically what they'll be called. So basically, if I say pay for my dues or continuing ed classes, I save all those receipts. Those are things I have to do to maintain my status and to maintain my license. So even if you're paying for your license, just put all that aside, have a receipt, and just keep that aside. Say if you buy gifts for clients, like a closing gift, save that aside. If you do anything for marketing, or maybe you send out mailers and you buy stamps and cards and stuff like that, put all those receipts aside, because that's going to help you once you come time to do your taxes. So just make sure you're cognizant of that, and you could be creative. I mean, things you could do, like when I do pop-by gifts, where I go and I visit my past clients and drop off like little gifts for them, I write that off too, because it's part of, making my business better and maintaining relationships with clients. So I do that. Or maybe if you take your client out for like coffee or dinner or something like that, that could be a write-off as well. So definitely take advantage of those things. Don't be lazy, because that could really help you in the long run. another thing you're gonna wanna do is you definitely want to track your mileage, especially when you're a real estate agent. You're driving a lot, especially if you're starting out and you're a buyer's agent. You're driving all over the state, I'm sure. So you're definitely gonna wanna keep a log of your mileage. And basically just a rundown of what I do that works for me. I do a spreadsheet. Now you can get an app. I heard of Mile IQ, where you kind of like start driving. It already tracks that you're driving and you just classify it as like personal or work. And then you can have like a spreadsheet at the end of the month or whatever you want to do to show how many miles that you drove. So basically what I do is I keep a spreadsheet. You could do it in Excel, you could do it in Google Sheets, which is where I do it. So I have access to it basically anywhere on any computer that I want to use it on. So basically what I do, and I'll insert a clip in just a moment, what I do is I separate it into different columns. So basically I have start and end mileage. The date is what I actually start with. Start and end mileage. And then if it is, you know, work mileage or personal. So I'm just gonna give a little kind of overview and screen capture of what it would look like, and this is from a past one that I did. So basically I put the date of what I'm trying to track, and I'll put the start mileage and then the end mileage, and that's a total of all three of these rows here. So I do showing miles for when I do showings, other work when I have like a listing appointment or photos, and then personal miles, anything that's not related to work. And I classify and kind of describe what the other work miles are to make it simple. So like I said, the start mileage is it basically adding up all these columns, and that's the end mileage. And then I total it all up at the end, like what's in the green there. And I'll just take those two first columns there and total it up, and that's what I will say my mileage for that time period is. Yeah, so that's basically my tips in what I do to budget for taxes. But like I said, I'm not an expert on this. These are just the simple things that I do, and there's definitely a lot more I want to get into, like saving for, you know, saving or putting money into a 401k and doing things like that. I gotta definitely set those things up. So those are other things you have to focus on that are not going to be done automatically for you, and you have to kind of figure out on your own. So yeah, that's basically what I do, tips I have. And if you have any questions, definitely leave them in the comments below. I'll try to the best of my ability to answer them. And if you have any other tips for me or anyone else that's embarking on this journey of doing taxes, then for sure leave it in the comments below, because we definitely all use tips. But like I said, it's a great idea to establish a relationship with an accountant or someone you trust to go over taxes and preparing them and just looking everything over to make sure that you're on the right track. So yeah, I hope you guys liked this video. Hope you found it helpful. And yeah, if you enjoyed it and you want to see more, definitely hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss any new videos from me, and I'll see you next time.